started, this is not a regular scheduled meeting, but it's kind of a special meeting. We had some business that we had to take care of, so that's why we called it for tonight. And everyone's here. Join me in pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes from November 15th. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? Those are the ones Deanna took, correct?
Yes. I move we accept them as read.
Second.
Discussion? Anything anyone sees in there? Janet doesn't usually take them for us.
Good job.
Did you say?
She did a good job.
You were needed and keys, is that what you're saying?
She wants to take over anytime.
All in favor? Public comment? There is any? Sure.
When did we know that this meeting was necessary, because this is not usual? What are the agenda items that precluded this, and when did you know this, and why weren't we told?
Keith can answer that because Selectmen went to him to have this put on.
Yeah, I think what happened is if one of the things that's going to come under open business or new business will be the opening of the roof visit community center. They were supposed to be back today on the 29th and need to be opened at the meeting. So that predicated the first part of just having the meeting to get the bids out of the way and decide what the board was going to do. The other, then we just had some things on the abatements and supplementals that they can address. And then we had 3 executive sessions to talk about a variety of issues that I need some direction from the board in order to either move forward with or to table. So that's why it's there.
Okay, you mentioned opening bids on the community center. The chair was asked point blank at the 15th meeting, it should be in the minutes, that there hasn't been any activity on that committee or committee, the committee minutes for over a year, and tonight all of a sudden we're opening bids. When did that happen?
This is a recommendation from the building committee that Bob Crichton chaired a while ago, correct?
Yes. Yeah, there was a recommendation.
The
from
two are
committee
not intertwined.
to get the roof done. Bob had been after both SAP as to when the status of that was going to be done. When it was ready to go out to bid, we immediately put out the bid, and now the documents are in, so we have to take a look at that.
And we're truly doing this to try to beat winter. And, that's the common sense part of it.
Right.
I didn't know that there was any committee activity, so it's surprising.
That would be the only committee activity, and that was based on the building committee many months ago, and then the approval that was given to the, by the town to the municipal officials to put aside $55,000 for building upgrades and repairs.
Okay.
And then there was a list that was put together by the committee identifying certain things. And one of the first things they wanted us to address was the re-roofing of the community center.
And I served on that committee,
Oh,
so
okay.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know that was a recommendation. I didn't know that is how it was moving forward,
That-
not through
it's
the committee. Okay. All right. Other thing. When did we know? We didn't answer that question.
Well, I got back I got back from vacation. We had talked, both the chairman and I had talked prior to my vacation of whether or not, because if you know, we had 5 Tuesdays this month, whether or not we were just gonna slip in another, put in another business meeting at the end, because there was gonna be a 2-week, almost a 3-week span before we got together. Because we had the bid opening, we felt that it was prudent just to go ahead and put one in at that time, specifically to take care of that bid opening. And that was the reason it was put in.
Well, and lastly, because obviously the word never got out that this was even going to be possible until when and how, because we didn't do a very good job of letting people know that this was happening.
We follow the same practice we have with all of our notifications for our business meetings. I posted it on the website, and the clerk posted them around.
So the earliest it was posted was,
It was in, when was Thanksgiving was Thursday, it was posted on Wednesday. Yeah. Which would have been a little earlier than normal. Normal business meetings will post on Friday, after the packets and everything has been put out.
okay, obviously there needs to be a better way of letting people know that this happens, whether it's a sign outside, a special sign of Selectmen's meeting next. Because a couple people here are here tonight simply because they went by and they saw the sign.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that must be a good way of hunting.
Could we put it on our channel? There's other things on there now. Couldn't we put that on the channel, our meeting?
I don't see why not.
I mean, I think that might be, I don't know, I go on it just to see what people have added to it.
I have a meeting with Derek tomorrow, I'll mention it to him.
Yeah, see if we can.
Sure.
Going on websites for other towns to get information, and boy, there's a lot of things on their websites compared to ours. We have nothing compared to the other towns. So I think that maybe we should start looking at that and see what we can do. And I don't know how they're set up to get it on the website, because I can't even do it, so I can't criticize anyone for doing it or not doing it. But, you know, when you're going on theirs and seeing what they have on the information, it's really great.
Well, I go on too, and I do see some of that, so I understand your concern.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay. Communications? I'm trying to make this as short as possible tonight, because it's complicated.
Just to remind the board members that have been signed up for the elected officials workshop, that's December 1st, 4 to, I think, 4:30 to 8:30 at Embassy Suites.
4:30, only because there's a lunch period, and then I intend to take up.
Okay, so you guys are all set up, huh?
So we take our own
No?
lunch?
No, take it back.
You should have received a memo from the finance director reference to the 2010 foreclosure list. She supplied that to you and identified the total amounts and how many outstanding folks are on the list right now.
I wonder if that's a larger amount than usual. It seems like quite a few.
It is not. Yeah, it usually tracks somewhere in that area. We can get the appropriate data if you'd like to take a look at it, but.
Because when, at that date, I know most of them will be in
Sure.
there.
Yeah, we have a, our collection rate is well over 90%, so we don't have many that do not meet that.
I spoke with Janet in that process, and she told me that we have less outstanding this year than we had last year, which is kind of unique, I would think.
I did put into your package, and I think you have a copy of it, the Borough Planning Board's agenda coming up. There's always some topics of discussion on there, and I know there's still discussion. If you didn't get it in your packet, I'll make sure you get a copy.
No, I didn't get it.
They'll be meeting on Thursday, December 1st at 6:30, and they'll be going through at least the 3 topics they'll be talking about will be, again, borough iron and metals, We have a lady looking to get a proposed conditional use for massage and nail business on School Street. And then we have Northeast Credit Union coming in for a proposed conditional use for an erection, to erect a 24-hour kiosk on Route 4.
The planning board is having the public hearing for the iron thing, last meeting, is left open.
Yep.
For this, I imagine that would be the first thing you'll be taking up,
Yes, it is.
the public hearing on
Yep.
the iron.
Yeah,
It was
it
a
says
three and a
it's
half,
been-
it was a 3.5 hour meeting.
It says it has been continued.
Yeah.
Just a newsletter from the Somersville Chamber of Commerce, which we are a member. We've started the process of contacting all of our boards and committees for whether or not they're still interested in being appointed to those. The appointments will need to be done at the end of the month, and our last business meeting is the 20th. So you'll have a plethora of documents in front of you to look at, and the ones that you have to sign obviously will be there for your signatures at that point. But we're sending out notices to the folks whose terms will be expiring and whether or not they wish to serve again. And as that information comes in, we'll be providing it to you as you're looking at reappointing. Maine Rural Water, their newsletter. And just the final piece that I have here is just a reminder of the holiday parade that will be on Saturday, December 3rd, starting at 2 p.m.
There was an interesting article in the Maine Town this month on Sherwood, by the internet.
Yes,
Did you give me information for that? I wonder who did.
yes,
I thought it was very good.
me and I spoke about that. That's all I have for communication.
We ready with the accounts payable? Marcia, you ready?
Yeah, I move that we accept the following accounts payable warrants. Town warrant number 1220 in the amount of $129,683.31. Also town warrant number 1221 in the amount of $54,409.42.
Discussion?
That's three.
Oh, the other was payroll.
Oh, the others were here.
All in
You don't
favor?
have to vote it.
Board of committees? I don't think so.
I will
Unfinished?
say that the folks looking at the land use is going to meet on December 10th here in this room at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's kind of an awkward time of the year to be running committee meetings only because there's so many things going on. But kind of like to at least get the basis started and then work from there. So we'll keep you informed as we move along.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Lane?
I just want to clarify, thank you, Mr. Ramsey. The parade is on December 3rd,
Yes,
is that correct? Okay.
This-
Somebody was asking about that, I
This
just wanted
this Saturday,
yes.
to let them know.
this Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
You mean your memory is that short?
And there will be hot
It
chocolate.
is.
And there will be
You
hot
watch
chocolate,
it.
chocolate at the Jerry Delight with homemade things being sold at the
Thanks.
library.
Guess we don't have any unfinished business.
No.
Not for tonight, anyway. New business, open roof bids for community center.
Yes, in your possession is the lone roof bid that we received. It came from Hall Brothers. You had asked for requests to open those bids at your business meeting, which is slightly different than what the policy directive is, but obviously we're honoring.
That's a question I was gonna ask. What did we pass our policy directive? Was it to be opened at a regular selectmen's meeting or just a business meeting?
No, the policy directive that you worked on was the tax acquired policy directive.
That's right.
It does not have to do with any other purchases that
Oh,
you have.
okay.
You have a purchasing policy, and that's what this roof,
Yeah.
bid would fall under.
Okay. So it's, it was gonna be different rules for opening the bids.
Right.
And then the tax required.
Correct, and you haven't got to the point where you have discussed or modified your other purchasing policy at this juncture, so it's what we have on the books. The unique thing you have this evening, however, and that's, one of the reasons you have it here, is that you received one bid. And I do not know whether you wish to open it, wish to return it.
No, I moved it, we open it because it is a bid for the roof and this time of year, if you've got a leaky roof, you better get it fixed, in my opinion. But at any time of year, if you've got a leaky roof, you better get it fixed. But I think this is kind of crucial and with the cold weather coming, there's gonna be some days maybe although cold weather may not be coming, I don't know. And so maybe we can,
Isn't here yet.
no, I know, but it could be the day after tomorrow. So I move we open it.
I disagree. And I disagree primarily because I think we ought to, we've worked on establishing some policy changes, one of which is opening bids here. However, the policy changes that we've proposed has been a minimum of 3 bids. And then if you don't get 3, you vote the second time. And then at that point, if you still only receive 1 bid, then to open the bid and work on it.
So you're saying we send that bid back?
Back without being open. It shouldn't be open for obvious reasons, then the price is known across.
Well, no, we should open it, that's what we're planning on.
Yeah,
giving
I just,
consideration.
I don't agree with that system. I think we should return it and ask for bids to be turned in for our next meeting, which is December 6th, I believe.
It is our next meeting.
First week,
We began a unique set of circumstances because, how are we gonna get this information out, back up to the paper, back up to the
Pretty short.
requirements
And
in
then
order
do
to,
it the second week, the second one in
Third week,
December, or whatever, the second meeting in December.
But as I just understood Pete to say that this doesn't come under the policy we set in place for tax acquired property, and that we have not even worked on this policy, so this is the old policy. So I guess it's according to.
Yeah, I disagree with it,
Yeah.
point blank.
But what does that policy say, Keith? Do you have it there?
which one, the one that we're presently working under?
Yes,
Yeah, I have it.
on
It-
these type bids.
Well, the policy provides a directive to the purchasing agent, who is the town manager, to open the bids. The bid shall be publicly opened at a place and time specified in the invitation of the
Even
bids.
if it's a 1 bid?
Doesn't,
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't
that
refer
3
to
was
any,
in the tax acquired policy.
correct, it doesn't refer to the amount of bids that you receive or when they should be opened. Bids will be taken under advisement at that time and shall refer to the Board of Selectmen for consideration at their next meeting. Seeing that we wanted to, and the bids closed today at 3 o'clock on this bid, and that's primarily why we had the meeting this evening, was to
I
take a look at
kind of-
it.
I kind of thought it was an emergency because it is a roof that is leaking badly, I think.
No, it's not leaking badly.
Didn't
it's
you
not-
go over,
It's
Pete,
in the
one day it was
position.
raining and there were no leaks?
That's been repaired many times, and it needs to be replaced. I mean, that's the reason why we put that as a high priority of getting that roof redone. But as far as I know, it's not leaking at this point.
That is correct.
I don't know if they're gonna use asphalt shingles or the new, what are they, plastic, or they're not plastic, or something like that.
Asphalt, 30-year asphalt.
That's what the specs said.
That's what the
I was
specs.
gonna say, because the others, if you really, it's pretty, you don't put those on in the winter, because you can crack them and break them awfully
No,
easily.
this is a
Somebody just does
conventional,
them.
this is a conventional 30-year warranty.
Yeah.
That's what the specs call for. I just feel that maybe I'm wrong, but my feeling is that when it comes down to setting the rules, and I appreciate Keith's bringing the bids forward here to be opened. If there were 3, that'd be fine. I just feel uncomfortable in offering just a single bid. I think you should be at least 3.
Well, how many roofers did you send the bids out to?
We sent them personally to 3 roofers in Berwick, and then we publicized it in the general circulation of the paper.
Well, if you send it to, I think that, how many roofers are there in Berwick? Just 3?
No.
We had 3 names.
Three
We
main
had
ones.
2 that we knew that had done work for the
Yeah.
board, for the town in the past, and we sent it to them. And then we had another name that had surfaced in discussions at the office, and we sent that individual one as well.
Because evidently the other 2 chose not to bid on it.
That's entirely possible, obviously, because
Well,
they only got
obviously-
1 bid.
Obviously, they didn't anyway. I don't know if they chose not to, or just neglected. I don't know which it was, but one or the other.
That's one of the reasons why it will be helpful to eventually have this television program up and running. People would have a better opportunity to see that information. But no matter where you place it, whether you put it in a newspaper or in a contractor's, like the Dodge reports or any of those, sometimes you get bids and sometimes you don't. My feeling is we should wait for 3 bids. I'm not particularly concerned about the weather because the asphalt can be put down,
Oh,
it can
yeah.
be cold
Oh, yeah.
weather. And
As long as you get a sunny day.
one of the preliminaries for it is to use what we call bitumen, it's a grease material that adheres to the roof. So once the roof is stripped, it will be waterproof.
Yeah.
Even though the shingles might not be on it, it will be waterproof. So it's, that way allows the contractor time to actually pick out some decent days to lay the shingles. But it also included the drip edge, both at the eaves and the rakes. So
Oh, yeah.
it's a complete
I'm sure you have to do that.
proposition. However, I said my piece, and
Well, I believe we're heading in that direction that you're recommending with, but we haven't passed it yet.
that's it. And that's why I mentioned you, Jim. We ought to, as we get these, we ought to pass policy changes.
You got to get on and
How
get
do we
it done.
feel?
Right now, you have a motion but no second to open the bid.
Is everybody here aware of what happened at the fire station last week?
Well, I'm sure that,
We got a memo on it.
yeah, some of that information has been disseminated, but again, it may have a distinct effect on whether or not you wish to award any money for a bid, for a roof replacement at the community center, but we're uncertain as to what value we have with that roof because we haven't opened the bid.
Okay, one more second or something. We can't do both. Okay, vote doesn't fly. I mean, the motion doesn't pass.
So we're not gonna open the bid. Okay.
I move that we send the bid back to the original bidder and re-advertise for another set of bids to be due, oh boy, the 20th of December.
Are you going to just advertise to the same roofers?
Yeah, you have to
Well,
notify.
if you have some more people, and really anybody in the audience who feels that we have other vendors that we can personally invite to do it, I'd love to do it.
I don't know. Okay, it must be a list, we have a list of businesses here in Berwick.
All they need to do is call town hall and talk to John, or you.
Right.
No, I mean, you want to,
Yeah, if you wanna
you send out
resubmit.
as many specs as you possibly can. And I said, we've got a list of businesses here, and I don't know how many, I haven't seen a list for ages, how many.
I don't know how many.
But I've been about 3-4 years since we did our posting that I had.
Some of them have come and gone.
Yeah, that you never know. I don't know, 3, I thought that's a pretty fair amount. They're probably busy getting everybody else tied into the winter. That's why they didn't bid on it.
Well, I must say that you know, the information was before the board back in early summer, when we turned the information into the board, and there was no action taken until finally pressed a little bit to get some of these
And
things
that's,
taken care of.
we've got the same problem with the fire department too. The chief came in last spring, but here it is, first day of November, December is coming up Thursday.
Well, I think the delay is apropos based on the continued issues that we're having at the roof system at the fire station. And
Oh, I don't think it was us, I think it was the ones we hired to do all that stuff. It's taken since last March, it was before I got on the board, that he brought the problem to you.
oh no, he was here in front of you. You met with Jeff. You instructed him to put together a bid package.
Yeah, but he's taken him forever to do it.
No, that very well may be, but it's done. It will be in your hands at your business meeting on the 6th, and so you can make a decision as to what you wish to do with that bid package at that point.
But it's too late to seal the building, the outside of the building. I'm not talking about the roof. It's too late to seal that this fall. That should have been done this summer.
I certainly agree with that, but if you recall his conversations with you, he specifically said the major issue that needs to be addressed is the roof system. And then the design and the repair of that roof system is an internal program, so there's not gonna be any stripping of a roof or that, but installation of a roof system within the building.
I understand
Okay.
that, but in the meantime, if we get a heavy wet snow, somebody's gotta go up there and take the snow off that.
Well, that very well may be, yes, but as you know, we have, delaying this may be apropos, because it may have been short-sighted of us to spend $55,000 on a roof repair at the community center, when we know that the initial estimate for repair of that system over at the fire station is somewhere around $70,000.
If that cost $55,000 for that community center, I'll get up there and shiver it myself.
I'm not saying
We
that.
get
I'm-
$55,000 for it.
What I'm saying, the point I'm trying to
Yeah,
make.
I know what you're trying to
Okay.
make, but I mean, I don't plan on spending the whole $55,000
That's
on
not-
that roof.
Again, that wasn't the point I was trying to make.
I didn't know the roofing business is going up in my life, so.
Anyway, I have a motion to send the community center re-roofing out to bid again. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
What was the vote on that? I'm sorry, I'm
I
right.
don't know, did Joe vote? I don't know. Five, I believe.
And how about, was there also a motion, forgive me, you guys are moving along here, to return this bid?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't a motion, it just,
Just automatically, I would.
Okay. We'll just return the bid with not open and explain why.
Right.
And tell them to send it back again.
But we also need to notify those that you sent out requests to as well, so that they may reconsider it and bid. Along with anybody else that comes forward.
did we put that on the Dodge report? Did we put it on the Dodge report? We don't.
No.
Not on this, it's a
Normally on-
smaller job.
Normally on projects, I'll get a call.
What's the square footage on it?
Huh?
What's the square footage on that?
39,000, 3,900, I'm sorry, 39 square,
39 square.
or 39, 40 square, somewhere in that range, you know.
Another thing too, I think in the thing, they had to, have to show proof of insurance and all that kind. Some of these roofers, the single guys out there, they don't carry that, they can't carry that, they can't afford it.
Then you don't want them on your roof.
Oh, no, that's right, you don't want them on your roof, but what I'm saying is, I know that,
Some of them may not bid as a result of that.
that's right.
Okay, we have two abatements tonight. They look fairly clear cut. Any questions on them? It's all about personal property regarding the Einstein's restaurant.
Now, I looked that over pretty close, and I, if everything was auctioned off February 2nd, how can we tax it on April 1st?
Right.
Kinda hard.
A little awkward
Yeah.
Yeah.
I move that we accept that abatement.
Well, we got two of them. We'll take,
Well, I'm thinking of one of Einstein's.
Yeah, they're both
oh,
Einstein.
they're both,
Einstein.
so
They're both different
We-
tax years.
Yeah.
we do them both together?
I would do one for tax year
Okay.
2011 and one for tax year.
Okay, the first one is personal property account number 718, tax year 2010, 2011. I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second. You got a second.
You got a second?
Okay. You,
No, you don't need a motion.
Yeah, Joe
and
and
who seconded?
Marcia seconded
I
it.
second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
I'll send it around.
Oh, yeah, you got it, yeah, we got it here too.
I move we approve the second one also.
That would be personal property account number 718 for tax year 2011, 2012.
Correct.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Joe.
I'm ready to sign these.
That's me. I gurgle a lot. If you've been in my stomach as much as I have, you'll gurgle too.
I'll take the bag.
Those are warrants and this is the date. Okay, we have public comment next, and then we've got two, possibly three executive sessions. Yes, I'm calling.
Yeah. Jody Wright. I wanted to address this question to Marcia. Marcia, last week
You gotta address the board, address me, please.
Okay. I'll address you, Chairman. Last week, as you heard, Selectman Elton said that I was spreading rumors about low-income housing. And I went online, and online through the Maine State Housing Association, Bateman is up to get like $347,000 through their organization under low-income housing. So I'm gonna address this question so that it can be answered. If she can't answer it tonight, I would prefer it in writing to me why she told me that it's not low-income housing. So that's my first question. I got a couple of more.
Keith, can you keep track of these? Keith will answer these questions, not sure.
I didn't hear you.
Keith will answer these questions. I mean, I think they've been answered before, but I'll have Keith jot down and get back to you with the answers. If you don't already have the answers, I'll let Keith hear them first. Go ahead.
No, did you understand what I said, Chairman?
Yes.
That she accused me of spreading rumors, but it's not really me, it's Maine State Housing Authority that's saying it's low-income housing. And Bateman's receiving money under low-income housing. Number two, I want to ask each selectman that voted on the Bateman project, again, in writing to me as a taxpayer, you answered my question that it was good for the community, that was your answer. I'm tired of it's good for the community. I really want each one of you to tell me in writing fiscally why you chose to vote and sign that lease for Bateman. And when I mean fiscally, I want to know what attributes, what financial picture is a benefit to Berwick. What do we get from Bateman's project as Berwick taxpayers? In other words, if I'm letting you sign the checkbook, I want to know what you're debiting out. So I'd like to know in writing, and probably is 2 weeks a fair time, Keith? Can I ask for that as a taxpayer?
Ma'am, let me-
What
Let
fiscal?
me say this, please. We've been over this and over this and over this. We had a big meeting with a bunch of people there. We answered all these questions, and you still keep bringing this question back.
Mr. Chairman,
This-
I beg your
This-
pardon,
This question.
but you don't answer. You have never answered.
We
What
answered
you
it
have
that
done
night.
is given us
I'm not
rhetoric.
gonna argue with you, ma'am.
Don't argue with me, I'm not asking you to. You've given us rhetoric. What rhetoric is when someone says it's good for the community. That's a buzz statement. I want more than a buzz statement from you guys. I want to know why Joe, why Marcia, and yourself, Mr. Chairman, chose to sign a lease. And I want you to spell out financially why you did do that. It can't be that hard, because you're kind of our parents. You're performing business for us taxpayers. I want to know why my parents signed that lease and did what they did. So I don't think that's too hard to ask for. And thirdly, I would suggest that if I come to these meetings again, that I do not get interrupted, and I swear to God, the next time I come here, I'll bring ADA with me. I've told Joe this because I spoke to him on the phone. I am seriously hard of hearing. And when people talk over me, when I'm talking, and then side conversations go on, I get perturbed because I sit here, I have to go home and watch the videos on Berwick Community News 6 times so that I can hear the words. And if I'm talking, I expect the respect as just a person. Forget about a person that has very limited hearing. Thank you.
Did anybody realize and get the Portland Press Herald and that Main State Housing is being investigated on, not really investigated, looked into for the cost of all these apartments? The apartments in Berwick will cost $180,000 plus for each apartment. Now that was in the Portland Press Herald. There's some in Portland costing $300,000. You can buy these people a home for that money, for goodness sakes.
Marcia, do you have something to say?
Yes, can you, for our next meeting, can you put your hands on all the requirements of that project when it got voted in?
Sure.
The earnings, I mean, I've got it at home, but I would have to look through quite a few papers, if you have it handy. It tells the income they have to be earning to get in there, and there's a lot of other things tied in with that.
But at the same time, Nathan Bateman said that if I came to him with a paper for Section 8, they cannot refuse me because it's federal law. Now that is a given. That's not me saying it, that's no one else saying it, that's a given because it's a federal law, and he said it. And I'm sure you all heard it.
And Keith, I never got an answer whether you're going to provide me what I asked for in writing via your selectmen, via your 3 selectmen.
If they want me to do the paperwork, I'll do it and provide it to the board, and then they can release it to you if they so see fit.
What the financial, and I want to say it one more time, what the financial benefits are for the Bateman development. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Mrs. Stopey?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, I think one thing she was trying to ask was, like Marcia specifically, because he repeatedly said, I think it's a good thing for our community. She's never expounded on that and explained fiscally or any other way why this is a benefit for our community.
Okay, if I respond,
I'd rather you not, but go ahead.
I put that in the same category as Applegate. And I talked to Jim Lincoln, he said he was here for 20 years as a police officer, and he said we never had any problems down there. And that's how I look upon this project. It is not low income, which does a lot of times generate big problems. And they listed what you had to make in order to get an apartment. And that's what I'm asking Keith, if it's handy for him to get those papers.
So would you be shocked to find out that in the documentation from the state that Bateman's have been seeking low-income tax credits since 2009?
I don't know what the earnings cap would be under that. No, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, well, that would be very interesting to you to find that out. I will provide you with that slip next time we meet.
Fine.
And it's a legal.
Provide it to Keith, please.
Okay. What was that?
Anything, provide it to Keith, please.
We're about to go into 3 executive sessions. Can I just ask what each one is for? Employment consideration, is that a specific position?
Yeah, we have some discussions on one of our full-time employees.
That's just a town employee?
That's correct.
And the labor contract discussion, is that police?
No, it's our Teamsters, which make up most of our employees in town.
Okay, even the office? And then I noticed the last one was, probably should have been ahead of that one, but discussion of acquisition of real property. What real property are we talking?
We're just talking about land that the town potentially may purchase.
And before we make any decision on that,
Certainly will be public.
it will absolutely be public. If it's not on the parking lot,
I'm not gonna answer that right now. I haven't had an opportunity to talk with the board about it yet. When the board comes out of the executive session, I'm sure they'll make a public statement.
I understand that, but if it happens to be about the parking lot, that is completely a matter of public record, which we have voted on, we've taken issue with, and it would sure be nice to know what you're gonna go in behind closed doors and vote on.
You certainly will have the opportunity to hear what the public statements are after they have had a chance to vet it among themselves, sure.
And to correct you on one item, there is no voting behind closed doors, Mr. Stopey.
Okay. But this is why we're here tonight. We're here under the cloak of darkness, and this thing is buried under the agenda. It's not even in alphabetical order. It's the very last thing, so.
Don't have a clue what you mean, but that's fine. Anyone else? Yes, Mrs. Clement.
Just out of curiosity, how many CBUs or CBAs do you have in the town? The collective bargaining units or collective bargaining agreements?
3?
Is it
No,
three?
we have 2.
2? Okay. And the other thing is, Jody was mentioning the ADA and the fact that she has hearing issues. If we could just slow down for those people who have problems hearing, that would be awesome, thank you. Because it is their right to actually have somebody here to interpret.
One of the ideas, we put the podium up, like time after meeting, after meeting, after meeting. I'm trying to get one person to speak at a time. People still want to cut in, and I do my best to control it. I don't want to start throwing people out the door because they won't keep their mouth quiet while other people, they don't have the respect to be still while other people are speaking.
Thank you, Jim, I appreciate your comment on that. And it does help, I think, for Jody and everyone else too. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll take a motion and go into executive session under MRS 4056A, employment consideration.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Yes, sir. Yes. At 7:15, Keith.
Jim, for the comfort of your public, are you actually gonna go into executive session and come back?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right, and if you don't, make sure you talk to Joan Bishop about planning assessment. Joan's your head, she'll make sure that.
Yeah, let me tell you, when they started calling me Granny, everything went, I can't remember anything. When they said Granny, gone.